What's up everyone, Kaze no What If is here with What If a Soul was sent into One Piece verse. Before we start, if you like the video, like it, share with your friends, comment, and let's start the video. Yo, what's good? I got a surprise for y'all. I don't own One Piece. I know it's a shock, but I guarantee it's completely true. Responding to comments. No Irene, I'm happy you enjoyed it, and I'm happy someone other than Praise the Sun know how to comment. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. A couple hours after leaving Alvida's ship, Nami stared at Luffy. So, who are you? Me. I'm Monkey D. Luffy. I'm going to be king of the pirates. Luffy announced, all his ambition showing in his smile. Nami rolled her eyes. Great. Another filthy pirate. What's the point of being a pirate anyways? Luffy dropped his smile, sending a shiver down Nami's spine. Freedom. He said seriously. Huh. My goal is to become the Pirate King, the man with the most freedom. Luffy told her. Nami looked down, her hair shadowed her eyes. So you're going to loot, pillage, and kill innocent people just to be the man with the most freedom? Jii. Luffy whined. What is it, Captain? Luffy tilted his head to the side. What does pillage mean? It's the same as loot, but typically with much more violence and harm to innocents. I told him. Luffy looked shocked. Jay, if you plan on doing any of that, you can leave my crew now. Pirates who hurt innocent people can't be considered real pirates. Those people are nothing but cowards. My mind immediately went to Kaido and Big Mom. They hurt innocent people, but I guess it wasn't their goal. I don't know. No worries, Captain. I may loot here and there, but I'm not a fan of the other two. Though if someone crosses us, Kuragari and I won't hesitate to kill. Luffy seemed to accept that. Nami, however, was staring at Luffy again. Asterisk, is there really such a thing as good pirates? Asterisk, she asked herself. As the sun finally fell and the moon rose, Kuragari and I stood up. You two might want to get some sleep. What about you two? Nami asked. Kuragari smiled. We have no need for sleep. We'll let you and Luffy sleep while we keep watch. We jumped out the ship, shocking Luffy, who immediately pulled us back in. What are you doing? Devil fruit users can't swim. Haven't you ever heard that? Luffy shouted. Riyahaha. I roared. Luffy, we're fine. Kuragari assured him. Luffy still looked doubtful but decided to believe her. He let us go, allowing us to hop off the ship and land on the water. We'll watch from a few steps back in case you two wanna talk. I told him. Laughter was still on the edge of my voice. Luffy decided not to question the strange ability. Nami, however, was staring at Luffy in deep thought again. Asterisk, such care for his crewmates. Maybe he's a good person. Asterisk, Nami decided to ask him a question. Hey Luffy, are there really good pirates out there? Luffy smiled and began telling her all about Shanks. Why couldn't those pirates come to my island and not our long? Asterisk, Nami thought as Luffy finished his story. She finally accepted the thought of good pirates and realized she just had bad luck. Thanks Luffy. I'll see you in the morning. Nami laid down. Shadow flame. I whispered, setting the ship on fire. The hell are you doing? Kuragari silently shouted. Don't worry, it's lukewarm at best. It's just so they aren't sick in the morning. The next morning, Luffy woke up somehow immediately full of energy. Whoa, what great weather! He shouted, probably to the world itself. Nami jumped up in a fighting stance before realizing what happened. Damn it, Luffy. Keep it down. Are we almost there? Luffy asked. Sigh, yes, if we keep going this way we should reach the Navy base soon. J. Is there a way to shut this dumb ass up? Nami screamed, not seeing us. I appeared in a swarm of dark energy behind her. Don't yell so much. I'm right behind you, I told her as Kuragari appeared beside me. Kuragari walked up, placing a hand on Luffy's shoulder. She then turned and looked at Nami. The only time he'll shut up is when he's asleep. Sorry. She apologized genuinely. Hey. I know how to stay quiet. Luffy insisted. Alright then, be quiet for the rest of the trip and I'll give you a present, Nami told him. Luffy's smile widened as he went completely silent. 10 minutes later. Are we actually gonna reach our destination? He asked. Nami turned glaring at Luffy. Oh no. You lost your present. Now shut the fuck up and wait. We'll be there shortly. But I was just asking. Luffy began before being immediately interrupted by Nami. No, you lost your chance. But. No. But Nami. No. Just sit down and wait. Luffy sat down, pouting about the brief discussion. I walked up patting him on the back. Don't worry, Luffy. Women are just confusing sometimes. They can never make up their minds and they're always yelling. If you ask me, they're more work than they're worth. What was that? Kuragari asked silently, a yellow aura falling off of her in waves. Luffy and I both chose to play it safe. Luffy began to whistle as he looked away, sweating, leaving me to handle the situation. Well, I was just saying that women are always right and Luffy should apologize for what he did. I mean, us men are irrational and reckless. Honestly, we should just shut up and follow your lead, I told her, entering my partial transformation in case I needed a quick escape. She walked up to me and began patting my head. Good job. Remember what you said here. Of course, my queen. I shall do as ordered. I kneeled and kissed her hand. She smiled. Make sure you do. I looked over at Luffy. This stays between us. Got it? I whispered. Luffy nodded his head vigorously. Girls are scary. Yes, they are, Luffy. Yes, they are. The island finally came into view. There, Luffy. Are you happy? We're here. Nami shouted, still mad from earlier. Luffy recalled my words from earlier. Yes, my queen. You did great, Luffy said with a big smile. Nami froze, not knowing how to respond to that. Asterisk, is he saying he'll do as I ask or suggesting that he likes me? If he's the Pirate King, is he telling me I'm the only girl fit to be his queen? Asterisk, at the thought of that her face went red before she shook it off, focusing back on the sea. An hour later. Jay docked the ship. Nami ordered. I have some things to handle in this town, so I'll see you guys later. Luffy jumped off the ship happy as ever. We made it. The Navy base city. I'm pretty sure it's called Shell's Town, Luffy. I told him. We made it. Shell's Town. He shouted. I walked up to him, patting him on the head. Good job. Now how about you and Kara go find our swordsman? I may go have some fun. Alright, let's go, Kara. Luffy shouted, dashing off with Kuragari trailing behind him. I began to wonder. Asterisk, should I be mad he used her nickname? Asterisk, I came to an answer pretty quickly. Asterisk, nah, but I should definitely get some payback. It seems my influence has caused Luffy to develop in some interesting ways. This world will be fun. Asterisk, I vanished into the city. Luffy and Kuragari. Hey Luffy, are you sure you want to let this guy join us? Jay says it'll be fine, but with this crazy world maybe something happened that would change that. Also, I'm sure I could be pretty efficient as a swordsman. She told him. Asterisk, if Jay found out I said this, he'd probably laugh. You know what? Fuck him. Asterisk. Jay knows the guy. That means we have to add him to the crew. I haven't decided yet, but if Jay says he's alright, it means he's probably a good guy. Luffy decided. He's been caught though. Maybe he's too weak for our crew. Luffy saw some good-looking pears and picked one up, eating it. Why does his strength matter? As long as he's cool he can join. He then took another pear before looking up at the women selling them and tossing her some money. Yum. Do you know if Zoro's at the base? The second Zoro's name left his mouth, the surrounding citizens jumped back in fear. Kurogari looked around and immediately started laughing when she saw one of the guys climbing a pole to get further away. Alright, never mind, if he can do this to people he might be interesting enough to join. I guess Zoro got into some serious trouble with the Marines. Luffy kept walking. Well, let's check out the base anyway. You're good with blades, right? The question caught Kurogari's interest. Yes, of course I am. Why do you ask? When we get there you can test the guy. If he's too weak or has a weak ambition then he can't join. Alright, I've been looking forward to a good fight. I haven't fought a swordsman yet. I wonder how strong that Morgan guy is since he managed to capture Zoro. Maybe I'll let you handle him. Once again the surrounding citizens jumped back. Another bout of laughter could be heard, this time from Luffy. What a funny town. Kurogari on the other hand was simply interested in the reaction. Her eyes took on a crazed look as she smiled. Fear at a navy captain's name, maybe this is one of the people I can kill. Oh, but I said I'd let you handle him, this really sucks. Ha ha ha. You're strange. You sure they're not just doing that for fun? Luffy asked. Kurogari looked at him like he was another creature entirely. What would be the point of that? Jay or just me? Which should I say? Alright, where should I go? Maybe hit up the bank, they're usually run by lesser marines, or the base itself. I'll head there later. I guess I can focus on some target practice asterisk. I took out the rubber ball I received from Alvida. Like the other, it was all black with Luffy's Jolly Roger printed on one side. The ability this ball had activated the second it leaves my hand going spiked and probably hitting much harder. I threw it at the nearest wall, watching it smash through and flying into another wall, leaving a crack before coming back. The woman inside the house looked up in fear. Sorry about that. Here, take this. I tossed her some money and vanished away. Alright, I need to control that. It changes when leaving my possession, so how do I handle that? Asterisk, I looked down at my hand, seeing a dark energy coming off of it. I smiled as the thought came to my hand and went on to practice it. Nami. Alright, first I'll gather information, then I'll go get something to eat. Asterisk, she walked around town asking questions about pirates. Her goal was to find a weak crew to steal from. After asking around for a while, a thought came to mind. Wait a minute, Jay turned down treasure. Doesn't that mean he probably has a lot hidden somewhere? I'll head to the ship. She decided loudly to herself. Once she made it to the ship, she found a small box. She opened it and found money along with a note. The note read, "Hey Nami, I assumed you'd want a little extra cash. Help yourself. I don't have much use for it. Though if you do take it, I expect you to repay me at 1000% interest at least." Nami smiled. Asterisk, it's not like I'll ever see them again after this island. I'll just take it. Asterisk, she took the 2.5 million and walked back into town satisfied. The money she got should be more than enough for a good meal and maybe some clothing. Though she had to make sure to save some for Arlong. She reached a restaurant, deciding to sit there and eat for a while. She was in no rush after all. Hey, excuse me, could you bring me some food? Something light and delicious. Also, I need a little information if you don't mind. Luffy and Kurogari. Again. Alright. This is the place. Luffy announced. It's a pretty big building. You think this means they're strong? It'd be sad to have such a big marine base if the people inside are weak. What kind of training do they do? Kurogari trailed off as she saw Luffy climbing up one of the walls. Asterisk, why is he climbing? He could just use his devil fruit to get up there immediately. Wait, didn't he jump higher than that on Alvida's ship, or am I tripping? Asterisk. Kuragari vanished onto the top of the wall. Hey Luffy, why did you climb instead of just jumping up here? Luffy looked confused. We should stay low, we can't draw too much attention to ourselves. I thought that was obvious. Now where's this demon? Kuragari felt extremely stupid not coming to that conclusion herself. Right, stay hidden. She whispered to herself. Asterisk, I've been slacking ever since we made it back to the East Blue. I've grown overconfident. Asterisk, her body then became transparent. It'd be hard to see her if you weren't actively looking. Wraith cloak. Luffy looked over the clearing. Hey Kara, can you see him from up there? Kuragari activated her Wraith world, finding him immediately. He's over there. She pointed to a man roped to a cross. Alright. Let's go. Luffy shouted. Italics for thoughts starting now. Don't blame me, I'm new to writing, I just realized most people do that for thoughts. Maybe not though, it depends on which is easier. The rest of this chapter will test that. So much for staying low. That goes out the window the second he's excited. She cancelled her Wraith cloak and walked after Luffy. Whoa. There he is. Luffy exclaimed from his new spot on the boxes. Which, thinking about, is poorly placed. A black hood and a haramaki, I guess it fits Jay's description. Should we go get him or stay and wait? Kuragari asked. Let's go untie him. Then you can fight him and see if he's worthy of joining our crew. Luffy decided he was about to hop onto the wall until he was interrupted. Hey, you guys. Zoro called. I don't know what you're planning, but you're an eyesore. Get lost. Huh. Kuragari shouted. I'm going to murder him. Who does he think he is? She thought. At that moment she heard my voice come over her mental link with me. Hey Kara, get your emotions in check. I can feel them from across the island. Kuragari slowly calmed herself. Hey Luffy, I'm definitely beating his ass the second I get the chance. She replied coldly. We seriously need to work on those mood swings of yours. I told her over the mental link before getting back to my training. At that moment a ladder hit against the wall next to Luffy. A young girl popped up signaling them to be quiet before pulling out a rope and jumping over the other side of the wall, running over to Zoro. Should we stop her? Kuragari asked. Nah, let's see what happens. Luffy decided. If he does anything we just have to kick his ass. You know, I'm starting to see why Jay chose you as a captain. Kuragari praised. I like people that know what life is truly about. For the last fucking time. Get your emotions in check. You're not even doing anything. Ever since we left the fucking island you've been wanting a fight? I shouted through the link. Kuragari frowned. Well, maybe if you weren't such a bitch and just sparred with me from time to time we wouldn't have this problem. You know what? Fuck it, I'm on my way. Hey Luffy. Kuragari whispered. Yeah, what is it? Jay's on his way over here. Maybe we should leave. No. We'll keep watching this and then you can go deal with him. Fine. The two turned back towards the courtyard, Kuragari ignoring the feeling of rage coming from Jay. Maybe I shouldn't have disturbed his training? She shrugged her shoulders. Oh well. I'll just make sure to keep Wraith World activated so I can see him coming. The little girl had just stopped in front of Zoro. What? Zoro asked. You must be hungry. I made you some rice balls. Do you want to get killed, Pipsqueak? Scram. Zoro said, even though not a hint of negative emotion was in his voice. You haven't eaten anything this whole time. Here. This is my first time, but I worked really hard to make them. The girl said cheerfully. Zoro paused for a second. I ain't hungry. You're an eyesore. Get the hell outta here. But I don't want em. Don't make me kick your ass. Still not a hint of him actually following through on that promise. From the gate a voice joined in on the conversation. It's not nice to be a bully. Ha 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 ha. You seem surprisingly well, Rorano Zoro. Now there's another weird guy? Luffy said. Yeah, but he seems so weak. Kuragari followed. Oh. Those are some tasty looking rice balls. Helmeppo swiped the rice balls, taking a quick bite. Stop. Helmeppo's face immediately turned blue as he spit the rice out. Ah. These are too damn sweet. Those re full of sugar. You're supposed to use salt for rice balls. Salt. But I thought they might taste better sweet. Helmeppo slapped the rice balls out her hand before stomping them into the floor. Take this. Take this. Stop. Stop. This made Kuragari laugh a bit. This guy is lucky Sanji isn't here. He would have killed him. First he's wasting food. What's next? Is he going to hurt the girl? Strike one. She thought. The little girl began to cry. I worked so hard to make those. Strike two. Did you not read this notice? Those who help criminals will be executed. Signed Navy Captain Morgan. Helmeppo told her. Her face turned to one of fear. Looks like even little brats know how scary my dad is. Dad? Luffy asked. Kuragari was furious. So he's just riding off his dad's accomplishments. That's the type of people Jay and I hate. You. Throw this kid out. Strike three. Kuragari said aloud. Right as she blitzed forward, a hand grabbed her, pulling her back. Wait. Now is not the right time. Luffy said calmly as they continued to watch the situation. The Marine picked her up, whispering something in her ear before throwing her over the wall. Kuragari moved immediately, using Spirit Step to get into position and catch her. After catching the girl, she was thanked. Luffy ran up afterwards, asking if she was alright. After getting confirmation, he looked back towards the wall, putting on his hat, a thoughtful look on his face. Kara, this is your chance to talk to him. Luffy said, nodding his head towards the wall. Alright, watch the girl for a bit. I'll be right back. She vanished from the spot, appearing back on the wall before dropping down. Zoro looked up, seeing the girl as she approached. I hear you're a pretty strong pirate hunter. You're still here? Why does it matter to you? He asked. Well, I'm a pirate. My partner is a man with a 25 million belly bounty. He's on his way here. You wanna do something about it? It's kinda sad being stuck out here for all to see. I'm starting to doubt how strong you really are, she said with a condescending smile. Mind your own business. You kids have no idea what true strength is. Zoro smirked. I'm actually 20. I'm not a kid. I heard you survived a long time without any food. I'll have you know I no longer need it. I don't even need sleep. Could you say the same? What's that supposed to mean? What I'm asking is, if you're hungry you could eat those rice balls. She offered. Zoro thought about it. I don't need it. Kuragari turned around. Wait. I may not need it, but I'm not a fan of wasting food. Give it to me. Kuragari turned back, picking it up. You're going to eat it like this? Not much choice. A yellow glow surrounded the food, turning it back to the rice balls it was before. Here. You can eat it easier now. She tossed the food into his mouth, watching as he chewed and swallowed it. He smiled. Tell the girl it was really good. Of course. She turned back once more, but Zoro called out to her. What's your name? How'd you do that? Kuragari is my name. I ate a devil fruit. She turned once more before being frozen in place. Looks like you'll get to see it in action right now. Her energy surged, changing her looks, bringing out her piercing yellow eyes and turning her hair black and yellow. What are you talking? His question was cut off as a flash of black came through the wall before reforming into a person. A punch was thrown at Kuragari which she dodged expertly. Geez Jay, you couldn't wait a bit before deciding to get rough? She asked playfully as she jumped back pulling out her daggers. I growled. I don't play about my training. But I guess it might be better to test on a moving target. Ah look, he's mad. I'm a target huh? Well, let me make it a bit easier to hit me. She rushed forward prepping her attack. Wraith Cross. The sound of iron on iron rang out in the clearing. The clash kicked up enough dust to hide us from Zoro's view for a split second. Come on Kara, you should know not to be so obvious. As the dust cleared it showed the shadows of us too. Her blade only hit my left arm guard. Now, let me show you what a real attack is like. I gathered the shadows around me before gathering the energy in my fist. Shadow break. My fist collided with her shadow, not even reaching her body as she flew back. I immediately rushed after her, attacking again and again, but she managed to smoothly dodge all of them even while in mid-flight. Hey Jay, calm down a bit. This is just a friendly spar, it almost seems like you're trying to kill me. She said frantically. Oh really? Last I checked, that's what fighting between us is like. You killed me last time, I think it's time I get my revenge. I pulled out the rubber ball, throwing it out against the walls with my energy controlling it. The ball passed by Zoro's face, barely missing. Is he seriously using a ball in a fight? The hell? I released my energy, causing the ball to spike up as it sailed at Kuragari, which she dodged, watching it slam into the marine headquarters, breaking through the wall. Zoro's sweat dropped. Okay, not just a ball. Come on Kara, stop running. I said, grinning. So we're fighting to kill? Fine. Let's go. Kuragari stopped and rushed at me. Let's hope you can handle a few cuts. Light was quickly gathering in the area as a few circle-like shapes appeared on the floor. You're using traps now? She laughed. Don't get caught. A fast-paced fight began. Blade meeting fist in each encounter. As we clashed once more, I was suddenly pushed back by a sudden force of light. Disperse. Kuragari clarified. It's a new move of mine. Make sure to watch your step. As I landed, one of my feet landed into one of her traps, keeping it locked in place as she ran at me. As she drew closer, I decided to try a new move. I'm the king of shadows and darkness. Don't touch me. I shouted. Kuragari's blade stopped an inch from my face, her shadow already in contact with my own. It only lasted a second, but I managed to get out of the trap and jump back near the wall. What did you do? She asked. Simple, I forced your shadow into submission, making you follow for a split second. I explained. She immediately rushed forward but didn't realize she fell into my trap. The second she reached the shadow of the wall, it expanded and caught her shadow. Shadow step. I disappeared into the shadow, appearing behind her as I grabbed her blades and held them to her throat. Game over. I said simply before dropping the blade and walking away. Hey, what was that? Kuragari shouted, running after me. I don't know. Maybe a new attack. I said sarcastically as we vanished from Zoro's view, leaving him with one thought. What the hell just happened? 10 minutes later. As we neared the restaurant, we heard the sound of glass shattering. I'm sorry. Let us all eat for free. Hee hee ha ha. Hey, bring me some booze. Quit dawdling, hurry it up. Helmeppo ordered. Who's that bozo? Nami thought. At that moment we caught up to Luffy as they entered the restaurant. Hey Luffy, looks like Nami made it as well. Luffy looked over at Nami, smiling and quietly waving before turning back to the scene Helmeppo was making. Oh, Yes. I've been bored lately, so I've decided to execute Zoro tomorrow. Look forward to it. Hehehehe. This immediately angered Kuragari as she was the one responsible for his recruitment. She dashed forward, kicking him into the wall before closing in with a blade to his throat. You annoy me, go back and tell your father that you and him better leave the island or die for your sins. Helmeppo shrieked, sounding like a little girl. He ran off towards the marine headquarters with the two soldiers following him. Well, since Kuragari started, it looks like there's gonna be a small war tomorrow, I said as I walked up to Nami. Nami, if you plan on infiltrating their base, that's the best time to do it. Luffy, we'll stay here tonight and get Zoro in the morning. Is that alright with you, Captain? Luffy nodded. Helmeppo crashed through the doors. Father! Father! We have enemy pirates, they plan on attacking tomorrow. Morgan laughed. Pirates, which one is it? Alvida or those weak-ass sniper pirates? He asked. It's Wraith Emperor J. Worth 25 million. He's here with what appears to be a crew. Helmeppo told him. The Wraith Emperor? Call HQ, we're going to need reinforcements, have them send anyone they can spare. He's a high priority target. We need to take him down here. The next morning. Alright, Kurago talked Zoro into joining. Kuragari walked up to Zoro, deciding to keep it brief. Hey, join our crew, we'll get your swords. That Marine son is planning on executing you today. So what do you say? Marines with no honor. I accept, however if this crew gets in my way I won't hesitate to fight my way out. Zoro said. Only quick to join this time around due to the fight he saw yesterday, he wasn't quite sure if he had a choice or not, and they didn't seem like bad people. Kuragari vanished for a second before reappearing with the swords. Alright, the Marines will be here soon with reinforcements. Let's have some fun. She cut the ropes and Zoro stepped off the cross, the four of us standing in the courtyard waiting for our first real fight in the East Blue. Yeah, I rushed past a lot, but only because they're unrealistic with Kuragari and I here. Morgan walked into the courtyard, Helmeppo nowhere in sight. Wraith Emperor, it's a pleasure to meet you. You are a high priority threat in all of the four blues. Excellent combat abilities and capable of walking on water, proving to us who your master is. Tell us where Kozumai is and we'll let you go. Ryahaha. Let me go. Who the hell is we? You can't do a thing to me. I took a step forward. Name one Marine in your little entourage that's beating me. You should know I'm not alone. I brought a few friends. There's 10 of us to be exact. Let me present them to you. At his word, people began to take off their hoods and step forward. I started to check their names as well as levels. Axe Hand Morgan, LV. 12. Are you sure you can win against us? Pudding, LV. 10. You evil pirates will lose quickly. Captain Nezumi, LV. 9. I should be getting a pretty good raise for handling this. Ripper, LV. 11. I've never truly liked Morgan, but I can't let pirates stay on my island. Mashikaku, LV. 10. Why did Captain Smoker send me here? I can't handle these big-named pirates. Iron Fist Full Body, LV. 25. Fresh off promotion and already got a deal with this. I'll handle it quickly so I can get back to enjoying my day. Feather Flight Score, LV. 100. Damn, I was supposed to be training the newbie today, not handling these pirates. Hopefully the Vice Admiral will give me a raise. Daddy the Father Masterson, LV. 40. Taking time away from my darling daughter for a commissioned bounty. Luckily I get paid either way. Iron Glove Nakano, LV. 35. J. What are you doing with the straw hats? Oh well, guess this is the perfect time for a rematch. Quick draw Tashiji, LV. 30. I can't believe she surpassed me so fast, I'll train even harder. You no longer deserve those gloves, Jay. Allow me to take them back. So. Morgan started. Are you still so cocky now? I looked at the arrangement shocked. What kind of bullshit is this? Why did they gather so many people for us? Not to mention, compared to theirs our levels are kinda low. Wraith Emperor J, LV. 50. Straw Hat Luffy, LV. 52. Pirate Hunter Zoro, LV. 48. Kuragari, LV. 45. Zoro stood frozen at the sight of Tashiji. Who the hell is she? He asked himself. Seems like this fight will be the hardest one we encounter until meeting Arlong. If we handle this, then the rest of the East Blue will be that much easier. I thought. Well then. Looks like this will be fun. Kuragari rushed forward ready to start her assault. I took out my AirPods and placed them in my ear. Kojika. Do I still gain levels from beating my opponents? I asked. Nope. I sealed it away for when your fruit awakens. All the combined levels will increase your power drastically at that moment. It's so that you can still grow stronger through training at lower levels. You already have 10 added levels the day you awaken. Crazy, right? She told me while munching on something. Are you seriously eating popcorn right now? I shouted. You can't blame me. This is a good show. Bye now. The voice on the other end clicked out. I put my AirPods away before glancing at Kuragari. Alright, guess we should start. Let's go. I rushed after Kuragari, ready to start my first fight as a Straw Hat. Zoro vs. Tashiji. Zoro was currently very confused. The girl in front of him looked exactly like Kuina. The light blue hair and her love of swordsmanship was exactly like Kuina. So you can imagine how he felt when the girl immediately rushed him ready to take him out. The sound of sword against sword rang out as they clashed. I don't know who you are, but if you're allied to the Wraith Emperor I must take you down. That sword, I can't allow it to stay inside your evil hands. Zoro threw her off thanks to his advantage in strength, his mind still trying to comprehend who she was. This can't be Kuina. If it was she'd know me, or at least be a better swordsman by this point. Maybe a twin sister, no, I would have been told about her. Probably a distant cousin, one they didn't know about. But that doesn't explain why she's such a mediocre swordsman. His thoughts were suddenly interrupted by Tashiji's shouting. Hey, are you listening to me? Give up and I promise I'll take care of the sword. Zoro smirked, holding up his Wado Ikimonji. You want this sword? I'm afraid that's impossible. With this sword I'll become the greatest swordsman this world has to offer. If you want this sword you'll have to pry it out my cold dead hands. Tashiji was shocked. You would die, just to keep a sword? Maybe you aren't a worthless pirate after all. Unfortunately a pirate is still a pirate, and if you're aiming for the top I should stop you before you get any stronger. Right? Zoro smiled. You're welcome to try, Marine. He said, attempting to make her angry. Which it did. Tashiji rushed at him, clashing once more. You seem pretty weak for a guy. She mocked. Zoro was pushed back. You're so lucky they starved me for so long, if they hadn't you'd be on the floor right now. Luffy vs. Score. Score smiled at Luffy. Hey, you know we don't have to fight. We just want you to hand the Wraith Emperor over. Luffy scratched his head. Who are you? Also, what's a Wraith Impo, whatever. Score laughed. You're a funny guy. My name is Score, I ate the feather fruit and now I'm a feather man. He demonstrated his ability turning his hand into feathers. I can do things like this as well. He let feathers fly out his back as he created wings floating slightly off the ground. Luffy's eyes turned to stars. Whoa, so cool. It's cool, right? I got this ability a couple weeks ago. I'm sure there's a lot of things I haven't discovered yet. Anyways, can I get the Wraith Emperor? I have a date with this really hot girl today. Score pointed to me. That's the Wraith Emperor, by the way. Luffy looked at me before turning back towards Score. Why do you need Jay? Score laughed again. He's a pirate. A high priority one. We have to make sure he doesn't get too strong, he might hurt the citizens. Jay wouldn't do that. Luffy told him. But he's a pirate, my master says good pirates are good for the world, but we can't be sure that's what he is. Score explained. I'm his captain. He wouldn't hurt anyone, steal from them maybe, but he wouldn't hurt random people. Score seemed interested. Alright, fine, I'll believe you for now. So you're going to leave, or do I have to beat you first? Luffy asked. Score smirked. You got a little more training to do before you can beat me. I may be new to this whole devil fruit thing, but I still have at least 3 more years of experience on you. You seem about 17, I'm 20, maybe your older brother would have a better chance. You know Ace? Luffy asked. Score recognized the name but can't remember from where. Who? Ace. He's my older brother. Sorry, I don't know who he is at the moment. I heard his name though. Score told him. Anyways, all you gotta do is last 10 minutes against me and I'll leave for my date. Okay, 10 minutes it is. Luffy said before rushing at Score, throwing out a gum-gum pistol which was swiftly dodged. You'll have to be much quicker than that if you want to touch me. Score mocked. Luffy switched, going with a gum-gum Gatling, none of the hits even touching the guy. Not like that. You need to be more gentle with your attacks. Score scolded him. When fighting me you need to have as little wind resistance as possible. What, why? I'm made of feathers, with attacks as aggressive as yours I'll just keep drifting on the wind. Score explained before throwing out an attack of his own. A simple palm strike that sent Luffy flying. Sometimes your strongest attacks are the ones that are the weakest. Focus on speed but not on aggression. Score jumped back a bit, waiting for Luffy to charge again. I guess I ended up training someone anyway. Hopefully he learns something. He seems like a good person, we need more of those in this world. Score gestured for Luffy to come forward. Attack me once more, and remember speed not aggression. Score felt a surge of energy. Speaking of aggression. What the hell is going on over there? He thought as he sidestepped another attack. J/me vs. Nakano. Nakano waved before entering a stance. Hey Jay, so you decided to become a pirate? Seriously? You're not one of those pirate haters, are you? I asked. Pirate haters? Like Tashiji? No, I don't mind if you're a pirate. However, for a good fight I'll take any chance I can get. Well, I mean, if you guys win, that means I'm getting locked up, so how about we call off the fight for another time? I suggested. If you guys manage to lose, I guess that just means you weren't worth my admiration. Show me what you learned these past 2 years. Damn it, even if it's just a brief exchange I'll be making her stronger. I can't throw a punch here, I'll just dodge until she tires out. If neither of us land a hit she can't gain any levels. What are you spacing off for? Our fight begins now. She declared as she rushed forward with a strong kick aimed at my head. I dodged to the side but she saw it coming and launched another kick in my path. I activated Wraith Cloak briefly, phasing through the kick. She got even faster. I dodged another punch to my face before jumping back, gaining some distance. Distance that she closed in a second with pure aggression. Come on Jay, fight back. Don't tell me you're scared. My anger spiked, almost tempting me to throw a punch, but I just backed away again. Yeah, sorry, but if you can't even land a hit on me, you're not worth my time. A red and orange aura violently surged off of her. What did you say? I'm not worth your time, huh? She blasted forward, her hits coming in faster and faster. I trained every day since our last fight. I surpassed all the other Marines and then surpassed Tashiji. One day I'll surpass Smoker. All that hard work, and you mean to tell me I'm not worth your time? Well, fuck you. She slammed the ground, creating cracks in the earth, knocking me into the wall of the base. She immediately rushed forward with a strong right. I barely dodged in time as she connected with the wall, bringing part of the headquarters down. Hey, maybe calm down a bit? I suggested. She turned around, taking her fist out the building with a crooked smile. Nope. I'm going to pound you into dust. She charged again. Kuragari vs. Extras and Daddy the Father. Kuragari was currently having the time of her life. A quick slice here, a straight kick there, no matter how she moved she was surrounded, and she fucking loved it. Oh come on, it's like 1,000 of y'all and only one of me. This is humiliating. While we were all handling one person each, she had to deal with the marksman, the 6 above average Marines, and what could only be explained as fodder. They had a massive advantage in numbers and even enough strength to take her down. The only difference is that all she needs is a brief 5-second period to meditate and quickly heal up. This was a battle of attrition, one with no clear winner. Her favorite part of this whole battle is how badass it made her feel. She heard the stories about characters from Jay's world, ones that could handle thousands of enemies on their own. Her favorite was the story about a man who came back to life just to step on an entire alliance. That's why when she was flanked on both sides she had to try what was called an iconic move of his. She jumped into the air and hit them both with a split kick, knocking them into a few others and taking them all out. This is way too much fun. Come on guys, land a hit already. Kuragari danced between their attacks, mocking them the entire time. Morgan. Get your men under control, they keep getting in the way of my shots. Masterson shouted. I'm sorry, but I refuse to call another guy daddy even if that's his name. How about you stop hitting my Marines, bounty hunter? Morgan shouted back. Guys. Calm down, we gotta take out the pirate. Priorities. Ripper tried. They both turned on him. Shut the hell up. Hey guys. Focus on me. I don't want you guys to fight. If you start killing each other that means less bodies for me to drop, and that would be a shame. Kuragari told them as she dashed in, cutting a random Marine in two. If you don't focus, all of you will die way too fast, I really can't have that. This bitch is fucking crazy. Nezumi whispered to Full Body. Yep, and she's way out of our league. What do you say we run the second we get the chance? Full Body offered. Oh, let me join you on that. Mashikaku whispered as he put his sword back on his waist. Aren't you one of those good Marines? Nezumi asked, confused. I may be a good Marine, but I'm not a fan of dying. I know my limits, and that girl right there is a prime example of what's above it. So when do we go? Alright, we'll leave after a dual attack between Full Body and I. After we hit her we run immediately and come back when the battle is over. If the rest of them lose then we sail away, no one will know a thing. Nezumi explained. Back to Zoro vs. Tashiji. Another high slash came at Zoro's neck, one of which he barely ducked. Tashiji had a clear advantage in speed, but Zoro's advantage in strength was keeping him in the game. Zoro dodged another attack before quickly blocking a strike that knocked the two swords out his hand, leaving only his Wado Ikimonji in his mouth. He took it out his mouth, placing it in his left hand. I guess one sword style it is. Tashiji smirked as she went on the offensive. She lunged at him with a vertical slice. Zoro dodged to the side before slashing out at her stomach. Tashiji jumped back, her shirt barely getting caught, exposing part of her lower abdomen. "You fucking perv!" Tashiji shouted. "Why the hell would I care about seeing your stomach?" Though his words were saying one thing, the light blush that came across his face said another. "Well, keep your blade away from my clothes. Then just leave. I'm sorry to tell you, but in a fight with swords things usually get cut? So you admit you're doing it on purpose?" Tashiji dashed forward recklessly, swinging and missing. Zoro slashed out, aiming for her cheek but somehow getting her top. Her shirt fell, revealing her chest, causing Zoro more embarrassment. "Wait. I didn't mean to do that," Zoro said, his words coming out a little too quick. "I'm ending this now," Tashiji yelled. "Ending it how?" Zoro asked. "With this final attack. The one that granted me my name." She placed her sword back into her sheath before settling into a stance. "I really didn't mean for that to happen." Iturio Zoro placed his sword into his own sheath as his feet settled. Tashiji dashed forward. Quick draw. Zoro drew his sword with a quick horizontal strike. Kuma no Ashi. The two swords clashed, they were both pushed back. Tashiji's sword faltered. Zoro gathered all his strength for one last assault, completely ignoring the fact that the girl in front of him was topless. Zoro rushed in, clashing with Tashiji and knocking her back, sending her crashing into the wall. The breath was knocked from Tashiji's lungs as Zoro rushed at her. She tried to dodge but only stumbled, falling onto the floor, her legs completely exhausted. As Zoro's attack was coming at her, an air of peace came over her. She had closed her eyes and accepted her death. However, instead of a swift death, she heard the sword digging into the nearby dirt. She opened her eyes, anger flashing through them. "Why didn't you kill me? Is it because I'm a woman? I'm a swordsman, I want nothing less than a warrior's death. Why, you look too much like an old friend of mine. I refuse to kill you here, grow stronger so we can fight again." Zoro walked away, leaving her there in her shame. He walked back to the others, who also ended their fights. "Huh!" he heard the girl shout as he walked up to Luffy. Now, originally it was going to be a bra. However, no girl in the show has shown a sign of wearing a bra. For example, when Smoker turned into Tashiji due to law, he undid her shirt partially and there wasn't a bra. Also, for some it's just hella clear they don't wear one. Score vs. Luffy. Luffy was currently getting tossed around. Score stopped his defensive approach and began attacking, meaning Luffy could do nothing but get back up and try again. He ran at him trying another Gum Gum Gatling, but each punch was easily dodged. Even though it looked like multiple fists, the reality is that it was only two. Meaning for someone like Score it was easy to dodge. Score counter-attacked, kicking Luffy back. Luffy jumped back up just to get hit once more by a wave of feathers. He grabbed hold of the cross, letting the attack drag him back. "Gum Gum Rocket!" Luffy shouted as he body sprung forward. Score let his body turn to feathers as Luffy went right through him. "That was pretty creative, you would have actually hit me if I didn't act fast enough." Luffy was slightly frustrated. Partially because he was losing and partially because Score looked so cool while hooping his ass. The white hair flowing in the wind in contrast to his black clothing. It was almost unfair. His devil fruit had to be so much cooler. "I'll land at least one hit," Luffy decided. "If you manage to land a hit, I'll leave early. Otherwise you'll have to keep fighting until it gets closer to the time for my date." Luffy ran forward again, trying every move in his arsenal: Gum Gum Pistol, Gatling, Bazooka, and even Battle Axe. Unfortunately, not a single one hit its mark. All he succeeded in was tiring himself out. "Feather Flight?" Score snapped his fingers and a tornado of feathers appeared. Luffy tried jumping out the way but was unfortunately caught and lifted up into the air. "How would you like to try a little free fall?" Score put out his hands, signaling the tornado to stop and the feathers to return, causing Luffy to fall. Luffy slammed into the floor, causing a human-shaped dent in the ground. Well then, little pirate. If you manage to survive that one, it means you win. I have to head to my date now. Bye now. Score gathered a mass of feathers onto his back before taking flight and disappearing over the horizon. 5 minutes later, Luffy woke up and the fall knocked him out. Even though his rubber abilities protected him from all the damage, it didn't stop him from the exhaustion that overtook him. Luffy climbed out the hole. All the fighting around him had just ended. He turned, seeing Zoro approach him. Me vs. Nakano. At the moment I was dodging multiple life-ending punches. Her level had jumped from 35 to 40 and it showed no signs of stopping as long as she was still angry. Nakano, calm down, it wasn't that serious. Wasn't that serious? Ever since the day you left Logtown I've been training. I've been working, pushing myself for the slight possibility that when you return you'd pick me. Nakano's energy began flickering. It's not that I didn't want to pick you, I just can't handle dating a marine when my plan was to become a pirate. I explained. You never thought to maybe explain that to me. After that loss I picked up kickboxing and became a master of both. I decided that the day I beat you I was going to confess. However, now that you're here with Luffy I understand. Like me, you have no place to actually belong in this world, you're from another just like me. After figuring that out I once again believed I had a chance, but then I noticed someone else. Someone who also wasn't in the original. That girl over there is the one you picked. She pointed to Kuragari, who was having fun slashing up marines. I weaved to the right, dodging another heavy strike. I understand where you're coming from, but we're from two different worlds, literally. The story you watched was one of Smoker's rise in the Marines, I watched the story of Luffy. By dating each other it could mess up one of the stories and throw the world into chaos. The gods already made a serious mistake making this world multiplayer, that means there will be new enemies on all sides. I needed a partner who wasn't partial to any story. Kuragari was born here and her power only exists because I was brought to this world. What the hell does that even mean? Kura is in constant danger thanks to me. Originally in this world there was only one wraith fruit. It was the earth model, but with my wish from the gods I brought heaven and hell into this. I already have crazy demon chicks chasing me. If I did pick you you'd be brought into this. Besides, it would never work between a marine and a pirate, never. That doesn't explain why you said I wasn't worth your time. She shouted, swinging once more as I jumped up, landing once again in the shadows. It's simple really, I'm a man who loves battle, but with your abilities you were made for it. I said that so that I didn't have to throw a single strike and you'd become even stronger. If I was going to finish it, I needed to do it in one strike. I dodged another strike as she finally entered the shadows. Shadow step. I vanished into the ground, appearing in front of her with a strike that stopped right before hitting her face. And it seems you fell for that trap. You're a wonderful girl, but I'm not the right guy for you. I'm sure you'll find him. I got out a piece of paper, writing the number to my phone. Call me if you need anything. I walked away, leaving her stunned. Her final level showed a 45. Now at the point of matching Kuragari in strength. Alright, a little off the main fights for a bit. Meanwhile with Nami. She was walking towards the marine base when she heard shouting. Suddenly the ground began to shake as the sound of running thundered around her. The hell is going on? Nami walked up to the wall before peeking over and seeing what could only be described as a war. I guess Jay was right, this is the best time to enter the marine base. She thought as she made her way to the front door, which was already open. Oh, so they're making this easy for me. Nami walked into the base, walking down the empty halls. Eventually she came upon a locked room, and right as she was about to enter, a group of Marines came running down the hallway, going to join the fight outside. It must be a pretty hard fight for them to just ignore me. Nami unlocked the door and entered a pink room. Is this a girl's room? She looked around and found a nice watch that she took before leaving the room. She walked through the hall seeing two separate doors. One was a vault probably filled with treasure and the other was a large yellow door, probably Morgan's office due to the size of the door. Money or a map? The map is probably more important, so I'll go in here. She opened the large door with her lock-picking skills and began looking around. After about 10 minutes she was going to give up until she noticed a mini vault. She pushed the barrel in front of it before getting ready to find the code. But as she pulled on the handle, the vault opened on its own. Yes. A chart of the Grand Line. I knew they had one. She took out the map, uncurling the paper to see a pirate's mark. On it were words that read, "I've flashily taken the map." Buggy. Nami grew slightly frustrated. This isn't a chart. What is this mark? Captain Buggy, the man known as Buggy the Immortal. She crushed the paper, determined to find the chart. Just another robbery, she told herself as she left the room. She walked up to the vault. If I can't have a chart, I'll take the money in here. They were bad Marines anyway. Nami got to work on the vault, trying to listen closely to figure out the right combinations. Kuragari vs. Extras. At this point in time, Kuragari had killed all the irrelevant Marines. Those that didn't die had run away. Now she's only dealing with 7, for some reason that was harder. Their attacks were more focused. Full Body would press forward with an attack, and while Kara wasted time countering, Masterson was in the background with his guns shooting with full accuracy. Hey, this seems like it's working. Mashikaku started. Are you sure we should run? I don't know. Nezumi said. We'll stick around a little longer. Pudding rushed in with a sword strike, one immediately countered with a simple flick of Kuragari's wrist. Ripper came in with a punch, but Kuragari jumped back and started gathering light in the area. I suggest if you plan on running, mows the time. Kuragari warned. Light blade. The blade grew a mass of light energy, making its effective damage range increase. Wraith speed. Kuragari vanished, cutting up everyone in the area and even taking out Masterson's guns. When she was done, all weapons were destroyed, including her own. I guess hand to hand it is. Kuragari entered a stance much like my own. Come on. The Marines began rushing her. Though her dodging skills were good, she couldn't do much damage with her attacks. She was slowly being overwhelmed when Nezumi appeared behind her. Rat's bite? He shouted as he stabbed her back. Kuragari simply smiled. Nezumi? Are you fucking stupid? She was whooping our ass before and now you just gave her more weapons. Morgan shouted. Kuragari pulled the blades out of her back, entering a stance. Hey, what is she doing? Full Body asked. Don't know, but I'm jumping the hell back. Nezumi jumped back as everyone else followed. You guys are really stupid. Kuragari told them as light began to surround her entire being. Radiance. All of Kuragari's wounds began to close and any of the excess dirt and blood on her body burned off. Well then, now that I'm at full power again, how about we go for round 2? Kuragari vanished behind Pudding, taking his arm off. Before closing in on Nezumi and doing the same to him. Full Body tried rushing in, but Kuragari just took that chance to slash his right cheek, leaving a scar. Mashikaku and Ripper got away with a cut to the leg bad enough that it left them incapable of fighting for the rest of the day. Morgan tried attacking her, but Kuragari dodged and cut off his head, letting it fall to the floor. How about that? Looks like you all went down in just one attack. Masterson. You're the only one left, do you want to die or retreat? Kuragari asked. Ripper saw Morgan's head on the ground and began to silently cheer. They no longer had to follow his every command, this marine base would be much better off without him. He couldn't necessarily forgive the pirates, but he wouldn't do anything against them for now. I know when I'm beat. Masterson said. I must get home to my daughter, I can't die just yet. Masterson walked away, defeated. He had lost so horribly for the first time in a while. He decided that he'll make sure to work on it. A few minutes later, after all the Straw Hats recovered, they went to the restaurant. Ryrika had offered them free food, but with how much Luffy and Zoro ate, I offered to pay. At one point Nami came into the restaurant waving to us before leaving again, but not before Luffy ran up to her as they exited the restaurant. "Hey Nami. What do you need, Luffy? Can't you travel with us?" "I'm sorry, but no. I have something I need to do, besides I don't want to be a pirate. We're not bad people. Yeah, but I'm just not ready for that kind of thing. I'll see you guys around." "Alright." As Nami turned to leave, I walked up behind Luffy, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Hey bro, you could always kiss her goodbye." "What's a kiss?" Luffy asked. "Well, I guess it's just you pushing your lips onto hers. It feels pretty nice. Okay, not that nice, but it's something people do to show affection." Luffy turned around. "Hey Nami. Hold on." Luffy ran up to her. As she turned around, Luffy kissed her, feeling a strange feeling in his chest as he let go and ran back to us. Nami was shocked into silence. Strangely enough, that was her first kiss. The fact that Luffy took it left her stunned. She hadn't expected him to be so forward, but as she looked up she understood what happened. Across the street next to Luffy she saw me smirking. It was fucking Jay's idea. I waved as she mouthed "fuck you" and walked away. I felt pretty good about the fact I was making money. Her new outfit made it clear she took the money. As we entered the establishment we waved goodbye to Rika and her mother. They offered us food, which we accepted as we left the restaurant, heading towards the boat with Zoro as a new recruit. New abilities. Kuragari. Light blade, increases the length of her blade with light energy. Radiance, absorbs the light in the area, healing her wounds. Any excess light is used to generate a shield that protects her from any attack as long as it doesn't match the light she absorbed. Disperse, a blast of light blowing surrounding enemies back. Sometimes causes the enemy to go blind. J. Shadow flame, a flame that doesn't burn and is usually just surrounding me in an aura when I power up. I can summon it, but it's only a party trick. Originally called Black Flame. Changed it. Shadow break, hits the shadow of a target, doesn't deal any damage itself, but it sends the shadow flying, forcing the body to follow. An effective attack for getting people away, or catching them off guard. Shadow step, as long as the shadows are connected I can travel to any point instantly. JVS. Writer. J. To be completely honest, I ain't got nothing to say. Writer. Yep, not a thing. If there are any questions, make sure to ask them in the comments. I responded to all of them, cause why not? Until next time. Also, I try with the fighting scenes, but I'm not too good at them yet. Give me time and I'll be a better writer. J. Bye people. Jason, I'm really getting zero screen time over here. Kojika, they only talk to me when they need something. Arya, I was only mentioned in like 2 sentences. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, subscribe to my channel for more fan fictions like this, and goodbye.